Hello, hello. Welcome. Today we'll be going over the first chapters 1 through 4. Joining me today is Mr. Mozzie. Hello, hello.
Forgot I muted myself, sorry. Hello. I as well. I just forgot to open something. I don't know if this is hotkey too. It's actually fine. I'm just gonna have a little lo-fi background music. How's that sound?
Huh?
Oh, we have cameras up. Look at us. Look at us. My microphone's not turned on. Why is my microphone not turned on? There you go. Now you can hear me because I did it manually. Hi Xeno, how's it going?
Oh, it's going well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually warm, toasty. I have some coffee here. And actually I'm gonna keep this close to me. Not too close to the microphone because I'll punch it, but I'm good. I'm doing good. Still a little stuffy, but I'm, getting over it. That's good to hear. Hello to who do we got today? We got Chloe, we got Tina, we got Christy, we got Wander. Looney Poo said so dark tide. He's funny. We got T Bell in here. Hello. Hello everyone. Welcome. Yay. Yep, I'll flail. And John, what's up, John? What is up, John? Let people trickle in a little bit. Welcome, yeah. So, for those who don't know, this is our ooh, it's spicy. It is spicy. This is our book club that Xeno and I are starting, where we're going to start off with the Dresden File series suggested by Christy. I may have to turn off these commands. Every time a command comes up, my brain goes, "Ooh, squirrel." We're starting off with the first book, Stormfront. We're reading the first 5 chapters, reading 5 chapters a week. And every Saturday, we're going to have a stream where we talk about it, discuss it, and all that good stuff. It's Xeno's first time reading the book series. It's been such a long time. I was reading the first 5 chapters, and like every chapter, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. Oh yeah, I forgot about it. So it's like the first time for me too, which is really great.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying it. I remember I remember some of the characters, but others I completely forgot about. So it's actually a lot of fun.
Trip down memory.
Sorry. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. That's me. That's my little pea brain going, ooh, squirrel. That is not a problem. Does Xeno know how many books there are in this? Do you?
15, 16, somewhere in there.
It's okay because I don't know. I don't remember. Christy, I was gonna look it up. Christy, how many books are there? Well, we have this series. Then we have Codex Alara, which I really think we should read, because it's really good.
Hands on 25.
Mozzie didn't even get to the good book. No, I didn't even get to the good books. Yeah, I think I read 1, 2, and 3, and then I stopped. So, yeah, I'm excited. He said he plans for 25. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's What is he on now? Get the books. Oh, something I forgot to say. If you're interested in reading along with us, we really encourage it. If you join the Discord, if we get a link for Discord, I appreciate it. If you join the Discord in the book club section, that's where we'll be posting updates. You can ask questions there. We can, people can discuss it freely. Chrissy also posted the first chapter. Oh, I forgot to say who it was written by. The book series is written by Jim Butcher. Jim Butcher on his website actually posted the first chapter, and Christy put a link there. So you can go there and read the first chapter for free and see if it's something you're into. On Amazon, the first book is like $3 US. So if you're interested, take a look there or anywhere you buy books. What, no historical romance books? Well, we might get there, T-Bell. I don't know. How do you feel about smut? I mean, historical romance.
I don't know. Guess I could read one.
Yeah.
Feel my feelings.
That's fair.
That's fair. Is it just smut?
There's probably. Wander says smut. Smut us the best. I think it's is the best. Smut is the best. I don't. I wouldn't know. I recommend Smut to Christy. Nice, nice. But Christy posted the link for the first chapter. I cut my finger and it hurts. What? I'm gonna start this off with a question for you because I feel like I've talked enough. What were your expectations going into this book? What did you know anything about Dresden Files? Did you see? Because there was a brief TV show. Did you have any idea what it
There
was?
was a brief TV show. What TV show is that?
Yeah, Dresden Files. It was. I think it was on Sci-Fi. I'm looking it up real quick.
Oh,
Dresden series. I actually really enjoyed it, and I think that's actually where I got first exposed to it. It had Paul Blackthorne in it, if you remember him. Um,
mm-mm.
it was it was a Canadian series. It was on in Sci-Fi Channel.
Huh, never heard of it.
I don't even know if it ran a season, to be honest. 13 episodes, so yeah, it was a season. So the dude is a wizard, eh? Yeah, he's a wizard, eh?
He is.
Yeah. So you didn't know about the anything going in, really?
Yeah, pretty much nothing except it sounded weird because I heard like the whole wizard thing and magic, and then I was like, but it's like it's modern. He's just like he lives in the city.
Right.
I was confused. It was mostly confusion.
He did do a great job in the Dresden series, yeah. He was a really good Dresden. Um, I know I said we're gonna talk about our feelings and what we thought about the first 5 chapters after we discuss chapter per chapter, but what do you think of it now? Like going in, what do you think about the wizarding magic in modern day? Or
It's
what
interesting.
were your first impressions of the book?
It's a different take for sure because you like
Oh,
the
hang on. No one can hear you. Hold on.
how
Excellent. Say something now.
about now?
Can you hear him now? Thank you, Wander. I'm not gonna have you go over it again, but I'm waiting for confirmation that they can hear you. I'm pretty sure they can, but they can hear you
Okay,
now.
right.
And if you do want to see Xeno's perspective, it is pinned up above. But go ahead. What was your feelings
So
initially?
yeah, I guess the feelings is the only thing you have right now is kind of the whole Harry Potter before, right? Because that's the whole wizarding world that's super popular. Everyone knows or read it. And then this is like a completely different take. It's not like people are just like blowing magic everywhere, just like, ooh, everything is just so magical and ding 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 ding, and
It's more
they're like
subtle.
everything. It's super subtle. It's more just like, and it takes like setup and stuff for the actual be possible and stuff. Like there's a lot more to it. Obviously, I don't know the extent, of course, at this point, but it seems a lot more in depth.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. People are saying they didn't notice because they had your stream up too, so they heard you from yours and me from mine. No, I totally agree. I think that is right on the nose. All right. Well, do you want to just dive straight in? Chapter one, we'll go chapter the so just so people know, the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna go chapter by chapter. Do you want to do like a brief summary of the chapter? Or do you just want to go straight into the questions? So we'll do a
Um,
brief
yeah,
summary.
just do a brief summary. Yeah, I think.
Okay, I'll do a brief summary because I have it kind of written down here. And then at the end of that, we'll go over maybe our favorite chapter, maybe some of that, and then we'll go into a Q&A section if people have questions. So, first chapter, pretty basic. It was just an introduction to Harry Dresden, the wizard. Um, there is a really cool interaction that I thought was a really great way to introduce Harry Dresden and him being a wizard, and it's with the mailman, which I think was really relatable because I don't know about you, but I'm not going to answer the door for a mailman. You can leave your package at the door. I don't want to interact with you.
Yeah.
But it gave a really cool insight to how normal, I guess, the public looks at a wizard. And it's just like, he's a freak. He's weird.
Yeah.
He's, a circus clown, kind of like that. Um, but you had that connection of like, well, he is. How old is Harry Dresden? Ooh, I don't remember. Did they say?
I don't think it said.
I don't think it said. I think maybe 40s, 30 to 40. I don't know.
That's a good
I'd
question
have to
though.
check.
Yeah, we'll have
I'm not
to.
sure, T Bell.
Yeah,
Unless
but
Christy. Go ahead.
yeah, Christy's got like definitely not a teenager. He's definitely an adult with his own agency. He's got his own business essentially,
Yeah,
and
I actually had it saved because I love the fact that they put the plaque, um, like in the book. Here,
25ish.
because there's a
Okay,
plaque on his door. Okay, is he that young? I thought he was older than that.
he feels like he's older, but I guess it's probably his experience and what he's been through.
That's true. That is true. So the plaque on his door reads specifically Harry Dresden dash wizard. Lost items found, paranormal investigations, consulting advice, reasonable rates, no love potions, endless purses, parties, or other entertainment. I thought that was just a beautiful summary of what he was. Um, I also love the fact that they started with the mailman interaction and then went into like magic is real and this is how like it there's a difference between science and magic and this is how the world feels about magic. And I think if they did it in the reverse order, it wouldn't have been at it wouldn't have had a better as good of a hook, to like grab you and pull you into the story. So I thought that was a really really good way. What did you feel, or what were your thoughts about the first chapter?
Yeah, that it kind of gave that nice setup, and it made gave you that kind of expectation where he's just, you know, yeah, he's sick of the way everyone treats. He's doing something that's just pretty out there, obviously, and gets a lot of flack for it, obviously. And saying obviously, um, but he's got like a that surly personality, and he just kind of just he's already sick. He's got like he's grown some calluses, so he feels even older than,
He's jaded.
yeah, he definitely is, and he's just like but he's just like trying to get by like anybody else, and he's just like, I gotta pay my rent. Um,
It did bring up like he's 2 months behind or a month and a half behind rent and stuff like that, and that was a very real thing too. It's like, oh, this wizard, like, they have magic, they can do anything. Nope, he's behind on rent. He has bills coming in and stuff, and that was really cool. Very good
mhm.
shout out. Um, let's see what else happened. Oh, then he got the call from Monica, um, the his first like client, I guess, which was very vague. I mean, it also kind of showed the like hesitance of a normal person calling a wizard for help and not really knowing. They also touched upon, I think, in that chapter about him not mixing well with modern machinery and like science,
Mhm.
which I
Yep.
thought was interesting. Actually came up a lot, and I think it comes up a lot in the books in general, but it came up a lot in the first 5 chapters.
Yeah, kind of like I wonder if it's something that's probably going to be played throughout the series, I guess,
I would think so. That's
in a
actually my
lot of ways.
first question is what did you think about Dresden's first interactions with modern machinery and technology? What did you think about that whole dynamic?
I think that's interesting. I mean,
That was a lot.
it it uh it kind of reminds me of Megan. She tends to like get near things and break them, like
Mhm.
not like physically, just she has like this weird aura where I feel like she just gives off too much energy and like ruins everything. So like computers, everything just mess up around her, and it's it's very it's very close to home, I guess, but at the same time, so it's kind of like something I feel close to, I guess.
Right. His gremlins,
Yeah,
yes.
she's got like
Yeah,
a
no,
yeah,
absolutely.
it's like that gremlin aura, just off a little bit.
That's
It's
good.
surprising.
Looney also said that he liked the noir storytelling. I didn't think about that until he just said that. That's a good point. Did you feel the same way? Had that noir feel to it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that at all. Did you have any questions for the first chapter?
Um, so what did you think of just Harry in general as a character?
I love him. I think I like his. I like the gruff. Like some of it was kind of, I don't want to say tropey, but he's like, he's gruff. He dresses in blacks and browns. He almost kind of has that like noir detective feel to him, but he's a wizard, which I think was great. I just love the blend of those two so well. Um, I like his snark. Yeah, absolutely. I love his snarkiness. I love I don't think the humor came up much in the first chapter, but definitely in the other chapters. His snarkiness, his um, what's the word? Sarcasm. I loved. I think with as a character, um, I don't want to say I personally connect with him, but I love him as a main character for sure.
I see. I
He's a
agree.
no nonsense guy. He is a no nonsense guy, which is actually a great segue to the second chapter, which we get introduced to one of my favorite characters, Murphy. I love Murphy. Um, she is let me pull up here. She's is it a captain, sergeant? What was her rank? I missed that
She's
part.
detective.
Is it just detective?
If she lieutenant or
Mm,
something like that.
it doesn't say in the first chapter, so I don't know. But she's the detective for sure. She's head of the division that it's Karen Murphy, excuse me, Karen Murphy, Detective Karen Murphy. Um, she's head of the division who they're like they get all the weird cases, all the things that can't really be explained or just weird. Which she says that most, I don't know if he said most, but some of them are like legitimate
Gotcha.
supernatural magical stuff. Some was sergeant. Okay, I'm gonna put sergeant so I remember that. Some of them are just hoax stuff that just like the you know they just kind of got like, oh, this is a weird case that we can't solve, but it's just like
Yeah, and it
a normal case.
sounded like
But she gets all the weird
everything
stuff.
that she or he had stepped in and helped them out with was more of like something small and just like hokey or
Yeah,
nothing really too out there
yeah,
until
exactly.
this one.
Yes, yeah. And like Luna said, I put she's a no bullshit woman. She seemed open and curious about magic, which is the direct opposite of someone we'll get to in a second here. Um, but she seemed to have a very playful relationship with Dresden.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I like the one that stuck out with me was them racing to the door, like him racing to the door to open it for her, but her racing to the door so he didn't have to. Hey, Noodle, what's up, dude? Are we talking? Yeah, we're
Doing
talking about
good.
Dresden.
How's it?
Yep, yep. We're going over the first 5 chapters right now. Um, but yeah, she's great.
Yeah, I like
What
that
did you think of her?
interaction because I've been in that interaction before. Oh,
Same. Yep.
like, nah,
Same.
I gotta get that for you. It's yeah, it's really straightforward. It was just like a nice, I don't know, they have like a good seemingly good relationship already, but not like too deep or anything like that so far. They know each other a bit and they've worked a little together, but I couldn't really glean too much, emotional connection in either way, because I was like, well, she, could be a romantic, later. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Yeah, it definitely. I feel like she has the hard shell, creamy center kind of thing, but we don't
Yeah,
know. Like
yeah,
it's one of those because there's excuse me, there's instances where she lets her kiddish side, her vulnerable side through, um, which I thought was really cool.
yeah. I felt like she's kind of letting her guard down around Dresden a bit, right? And
Yeah,
she's too tough to do that and to around most people. So seems like a bit of a vulnerability. Maybe she has a little soft side for him.
makes you wonder about it. Yeah, and like you said, with they had previous cases that they built up probably that trust in those cases, um, which it, I feel like the mood almost like turned when they got into the elevator going up to the crime scene. Cause like, okay, we didn't say before, but when Murphy called Dresden in the first chapter, it was to let him know, hey, we have two dead bodies and I need your help, which was pretty serious to begin with. But it just built the tension when, as the elevator kept going up to what, the seventh floor or whatever it was, um, to like, I feel like get you ready for the crime scene. Um, which was horrific, but we'll get to that in a second. Um,
I like Christie's
we have
point
Murphy. Go ahead.
where I think she thinks part of it too is she hates asking for his help because she can't figure it out. And yeah, so she's like one of those people
Oh
like
yeah, okay.
yeah, she's tries to yeah, and one of those
She doesn't want to ask for help.
barriers she's
Okay.
got to cross to be like, all right, fine, I gotta ask for help. Weirdo.
That even that even reinforces her relationship with Dresden, that she feels comfortable enough to ask him for help.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I didn't think about that. Um, I don't know. I thought I put this in the notes, but now I can't find it. Oh, here we go. So we have Murphy. Then we get introduced to Detective Carmichael. I don't remember his first name, and I don't really care. He is like the polar opposite, skeptic. He's not lazy. At least I don't. I didn't get the impression that he was lazy. Did you?
Not necessarily.
He's just kind of a like by the books um,
He's a
detective that's
butthole. That's what he is.
he is a butthole. He is a butthole. He's just super skeptic, snarky, and he doesn't want to like even listen to. That's one of the things that irks me. Like even if someone has a bad idea or maybe not the right like not opinion, but the people that just write off people not even listening to their ideas or what they have suggestion bothers me, and he does this to Dresden every single time. Um I mean I hate him. What was your opinion of him?
No, didn't like him whatsoever. He's just one of those like I feel it like I don't know. In my life, I definitely have met people like that, where it's like, yeah, all right, we're not going to get along. You are,
Mhm.
you just want something negative to say about every little thing that I try to do. So it's going to be at
It does
odds.
make me it does make me wonder if he's gonna come around. Like if he's gonna build if Jim Butcher is gonna build that arc where maybe he's a believer in the end. I don't know. I don't remember from the few books that I've read, so we'll see. But initial thoughts, he's an arse is exactly what I put in my notes. Um then we get to the crime scene. What was your initial reaction to the crime scene?
I mean,
Because it was intense.
it's intense. It didn't necessarily like feel like it was over the top graphic in the description at least, but I mean it was enough to
No.
like give you an idea and it grows. It's just it stuff everywhere. You got some boobies, yeah,
Boobies,
and
yep. You got some boobies.
it's and which I feel like kind of sets up the realism, trying to like get that like, hey, this was like an intense moment, like with stuff going down, and then because of that, that's how this magic worked.
Hmm. Yep. No, I agree. It was tastefully graphic, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't over the top. It was serious. Like two people's chests were burst open from the outside. Um and their hearts exploded. So it was intense. It was serious. I think it was a main turning point for the book because like you had that scene where you know, Murphy and Dresden were joking around. Even Carmichael and Dresden were playfully joking back and around a little bit. And then you got hit with this. But also, I think the most important part is it showed Dresden another one of his human sides. Like you're like, oh, he's a wizard. He's super powerful. But he got sick just at the sight of this, um, which also was like a kind of a good connecting point with the reader and Dresden from a human level, I think.
Mhm.
Um, that's true. Carmichael did have the bucket ready for him on hand. That is very, very true. Do you think that changed the tone of the book, the crime scene, or what do you think?
I mean, definitely there was definitely a tonal shift into like some heavy serious. It's been like kind of like, well, it's got that noir and that setup and all that, and it's kind of he's dealing with his demons and got to pay the rent and all right, let's go help the police, and then oh this is pretty bad. Yeah, this is gross. We're gonna go into some serious level stuff here. Like, put your big boy pants on.
Even to build upon that, when Dresden was explaining magic and like how it has to be part of you and like part of your emotions for whoever did this crime, if their emotions matched that sort of violence, even that was just like, whoa, okay, that's
Right.
intense. Yeah.
Which kind of
What questions do you have? Go ahead.
um so how did you what did you think about the whole setup of the investigation, step by step, beginning there? How do you
I thought it was really good. I thought it built the anticipation and the tension up to the actual crime scene, because like even at the beginning of the previous chapter when Murphy called Dresden and said like it's bad, and then he was like, oh no. Um it just kind of built upon that with broken up with like the playful motion moments that I was talking about, kind of like that. But it felt like it kept building and building until this actual crime scene. I thought it was done really well. I think it kind of grabbed the reader to continue to keep going and to like, oh, what is actually in this crime scene? What could it be? What could be that bad? Um, I think it was really well done. Yeah.
I had another I'm gonna save it for the end though. I think better there. More about the
Okay.
writing style of
Oh, okay. All right. Good for chapter 3 then.
yeah.
Let's take a look. Oh, okay. So this is one of my favorite chapters, at least from the first five. We get an introduction to Johnny Marconi. What did you think of Mr. Marconi?
Yeah, he's creepy. He's
He is very creepy.
he knows how to deal with people. He understands a lot. Like, he is a very intelligent guy. And
The mob guy. Yep.
yeah, the
Yep. The
mob
mob guy.
guy. And he is somebody you do not on your bad side. Like, clearly.
Gentle. That's true. They said gentleman Johnny Marconi, and emphasis on gentleman because he is creepy, but he does have that like
That's the
silver
terror.
tongue charm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the real scary part I think about him. He's not just like some guy who's gonna come in, threaten you, and push you around. No, he's gonna talk. He's gonna threaten you, but he's gonna do it in such a way that it's like absolutely terrifying.
Oh, is it Marcone? I thought it was Marconi. I just throw it in the E at the end.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's spelled with the E, so Marconi. Like, I could have seen it anyway. That's good to know, though. Thank you, Noodle. You know what you okay.
Oh, at the end? Oh, okay. Marcone. Yeah, I don't. I guess my like mob brain just was like it's Marconi.
Marconi, yeah, the Marconi
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
not Marcone. It sounded more mafioso
yeah,
to me. So Marcone. Okay. I'm also really bad at pronouncing names, so that's on me. Um, I almost got initially like kind of a devil Satan like
oh yeah,
comparison.
100%. Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
the devil.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know about if it was just me. Now, something else that came up, I think, in chapter 1 as well. The I don't know if they called it this, but this is what I was calling it: soul gazing. When they met eyes with Dresden and like he could peer into them.
yeah.
This was the first time we actually got a description of it happening. What did you think of that?
That I mean, there's so many like I'm so curious about that right now. Like the whole soul gazing, like it like lets you in and you can see things. And so he doesn't know what people see when they look into his eyes, but like, he can see what
Oh no,
experiences.
they do. It's a two-way street.
Yeah, well, it's a
They
two-way,
see into him
but
as well.
he doesn't know what they see is the thing.
Oh, sorry.
So like
Yes. Yes.
he's not completely aware, but I mean he knows his past experiences, I guess, to some degree. you have to think like they're seeing something, but something creeps most people out when they look into his eyes. But this guy, of course, nothing. But
Nothing. Nope. Nothing.
doesn't bother
Which I
him.
thought it was a great way. I loved the whole experience, but I also thought it was a awesome way from a writing standpoint to give you um more into gentleman Johnny Marcone. Like the fact that he, and I'm going to use the exact words, the fact that he saw, Dresden saw him as a soldier, a warrior, but that he tries to minimize the misery and suffering that his business causes on the people, but not because of like any like I don't want to do that much harm. He does it because it's the best business practice. It's the best way to get business done, which is even scarier in my opinion, because it's like, oh, he's got like a soft side, he's got a compassionate side. No, he wants to be efficient. And then the fact that it goes into the fact that he said killing. Oh yeah, that he was angry. We found out, by the way, that the male, because in the crime scene it was a male and female uh, lovers that got killed. The male was one of his henchmen named Tommy Tom, I think was his name. I think it was Tommy Tom. I'll have to look it up, but um, Mr. Marcone was furious at his death, but it wasn't because of a personal loss. It was because of he felt like his empire was personally attacked, and that he will get his revenge, get even, and that killing and death is part of business. It's like a transaction, and I quote, "It's like paying for your groceries at the checkout line," which I mean, all of this just builds upon the scariness I think of him. What did you? Oh, and the next. Well, do you have anything to add to that before I get to the next part?
No, go.
Okay. The next part that he saw in the soul gazing was his secret shame, which he said it was something that he's super shameful about. It drives him and motivates him, and that he would do anything to erase it. What do you think that secret is? Do you have any idea?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I have an idea. I have a theory of what it is. Um, I think it's someone close to him either was killed by some sort of crime organization or a drug overdose. And that's what drives him. That's just a theory. I don't really know. But when I read that, I was like, it sounds like this maybe. But I wanted to see if you had any ideas or what you thought about that.
I mean, yeah, just speculation,
Hey, DJ.
really. So, I mean, yeah, that sounds like it could be, but who knows? Like
Yeah, you're right.
maybe he chose to do some good or something and it backfired.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's a good point. To read them. Yeah, it is hard. Sometimes when you only read a book and like reading names, I don't remember where this is from, but I saw somewhere online that someone only read the Harry Potter books and they didn't know how to pronounce Hermione. I think they pronounced it Hermione, Har, Harmony, something like that. And then they heard like people talking about it. They're like, "Who is that?" Anyway,
I
um,
I, I will admit that when I first read the books when I was younger, I called her Hermione. I think I was like
I think
Hermione. Like yeah,
I think
just
everyone had
some.
a different name.
Then you hear it and you're like, oh god, oh no, did I say it out loud ever? Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. Hermione. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, I thought it was also really interesting that Dresden was after soul gazing was terrified of him. Well, two things. One, that he was terrified of him. I also thought it was really interesting because you said earlier that Dresden doesn't know what they see in him. But after that interaction, Marcone knew that he couldn't bribe Dresden. He didn't try anymore. He gave up. And he also, when it sounded like he was kind of threatening him, and Dresden was like, "Are you threatening me?" And he said, after that, and what did he say actually? That he respected him too much to threaten him or do any harm to him. And it's like, Okay, are you scared of Dresden, or what exactly did you see in Dresden?
Interesting. Or yeah, I really like
It
that.
is. I thought it was a really good touch. Um, did you have any questions or anything else before we go to chapter 4, or
Not at
what was
this
your
point.
overall?
Yeah, this overall
Okay.
was just like it was pretty straightforward. Um and like that it was mostly yeah, the bad guy and him. I think we yeah, I mean, I thought that was really good setup. Kind of
Uh,
curious to see what happens.
yeah, absolutely. Noodle has a good point. He said he isn't scared of Dresden. He respects his power. That's yeah, and that he has a code much. Yeah, and he has a code much like Marcone does. Yeah, exactly.
Which is like it's interesting because this whole magic thing is very secret or not literally secret. It is in a way, but at the same time, like it's just people don't really understand it or believe it. But it's not very common. But like these scary people, these powerful people, they know all about it. Like you know,
Right.
interesting.
Makes you wonder. People in power seem to be magic users, or at least be able to see it, which is interesting. All right. So we go to chapter 4, which I think was one of the weaker chapters. It was necessary, but it was Monica No Name. It was from chapter 1, the woman that called him about that wanting to procure his services. We found out what she wanted um, in finding Dresden's help in finding her husband. What did you think about that whole interaction?
This is all like just so weird. It's just there's so much whole interaction with just like she's not really sure about the whole magic key stuff, but whatever happened with her husband, she's like she obviously thinks she needs him better than anybody else, and is willing to like pay and I don't know go through this weird like she's pretty uncomfortable with it obviously and
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes you, because like she wants to find her husband. You think you'd want to do everything you could to find your husband, even if it was like maybe a little embarrassing talking to a wizard. And I thought that was very strange. Um, and like I get the whole being cautious about magic, I guess. But I feel like wanting to find your husband would trump that.
right.
Also, she had just an envelope of money just ready, which I like. I guess if you're going to a private eye, you'd have something like that ready. I just thought she was. I thought she was a little shady. I agree. I thought it was just a weird interaction.
It's just yeah.
Um, and then she was like, "My husband like is maybe into some magic stuff. I don't know." It's like,
Yeah, like what do
mm,
like you don't know anything? Like what?
mm,
I don't know. Like this is why
seems a little sus.
but she's like really like you're the one that needs to help him. Like, okay, I definitely need
Yeah,
you.
no police. It has to be you. Yeah, that's the. Oh, and then she dropped the scorpion talisman.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think he opened it with her there, but she gave it to like
Yeah,
I
in the
found this
envelope,
and this
right?
stuff. Yeah, yeah. And I was like, that was weird because he didn't. He said that it was nothing good comes out of scorpions, but it may just be like a fake trinket. But he was kind of weirded out by it at the beginning, so it makes you wonder. I just thought that kind of all of that combined was just a little weird. Oh, and we found out that her husband, um, his name was Victor, or his name is Victor Sells, which is just like okay, you gave your husband's name, but you're Monica. Um, I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird to me. So, all
It was very strange. Kind of
right, anything else before chapter
I think
5?
so. Yeah, that one's left a lot of questions, I'd say, but not a lot of
Yeah,
answers.
no, it was just more of like, let's see how this goes. And we did see a little bit of what, because it didn't seem like Dresden was too surprised by it because he was like, well, names are powerful. And
Yeah.
um, one sec, you got Megan. Hi, Megan. Names are important to wizards. Yeah, exactly. She didn't want to share it because she's dealing with him directly. Yeah. No, and that was like Dresden's point that you know we're face to face. She doesn't want to give her real name, and he didn't seem like that it was sketchy, which I think it could go one of two ways. It could be like, oh, that's just like how the interactions go, or
See, but
um,
it's more like she knows more about magic. He's letting on. Maybe, with the whole thing, never looked him in the eyes, like didn't let him any sight into her whatsoever.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe,
she's got more
maybe
exactly, yes.
that's more knowledge. Yeah, exactly. I have a theory about her, but I'm gonna wait for another chapter that's gonna come up.
Yeah.
Let's go. So I said that the Johnny Marcone chapter is my favorite. It's hard because this is a really good chapter too. Chapter 5 introduces McCainley's McCain. How do you pronounce it? McCanley's
Canley's, yeah.
Max Pub. McCainley's
Yeah.
Pub, which is awesome. What did you think of the pub?
I would love that pub. I would love to go there.
Me too.
uh,
Mac
Macanalis, yeah. Okay.
Macanales. Okay, thank you. Macanales. I love Mac. He is just
He's the
he's the
best.
crotchety bartender that says like few words,
Uh,
but he's super like
uh,
insightful and knowledgeable. Yeah.
uh,
It, someone followed you. It's like, what? It's just awesome. It also, in
Stupid.
my mind,
Just to the point.
um,
Important phrases.
yeah. Uh it reminded me of just like like an old school pub, not like the new age pubs and all like that stuff, just like a dark, everything's sticky, there's only brown and like not much color to the room. That's the feeling I got. Yeah, and that's the thing, it's a wizard pub, which I thought the 13s was really cool. There's 13 stools, there's 13 beams, there's 13 everything, which was really cool. Sticky floor. Oh, sticky surfaces everywhere. It's all sticky. Um I thought it was great. I thought it was a awesome introduction to a public area for magic users, I guess. Um Immediately my question was, cuz you said you'd want to go to that pub. My question for you is, what food or beverage would you order from this pub? If you could order anything, what would you order?
Uh, probably whatever. Probably just whatever sandwich. Just the basics, like the beer on tap and just the sandwich, whatever.
That steak sandwich?
Yeah, the steak sandwich sounded so good.
It sounded fantastic. Yeah, it really did. It sounded fantastic. I would definitely. It has. I feel like there's no bottles served in that bar. It's only on tap. That's it,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's all you'd order. Um, I agree. I think the steak sandwich just sounded so good. Maybe I'd go for a shepherd's pie. Maybe because they have it. But that steak sandwich sounded fantastic. There was also something mentioned very briefly in this chapter, and it's the three-eye drug. You remember that? When he
Remind
was
me.
reading the news, he was reading the newspaper, and he was like, "Hey, Mac, have you seen this?" And it was about, I think, like three teens or something, a group of teens who were on this drug called three-eye drug that supposedly it gives you the sight of the third eye, which makes it sound like it's magical in some way. And even Dresden's like, "This is a load of shit." And then it said like the teens were hospitalized. They went to a place, wrecked everything because they thought that it was destined to be destroyed or whatever, and then they were in critical condition in the hospital.
Yeah.
It was like a paragraph, maybe two, but I felt like it may have significance. I don't know if it will, but I think it's going to have significance later.
Yeah, I bet it will actually. That now that I kind of glossed right over that, um, but now that I think about it,
It's easy to miss. At first I thought it was just like a throwaway interaction with him and Mac, but then I
oh,
was
I
like,
bet it's
maybe
more.
not.
Yeah, I bet you're right. It's interesting. I bet that'll play out in
Yeah,
some because I mean we got crime, we got some crime syndicate. Like
right. And we have mobsters, and it's like, well, what goes hand in hand is drugs.
they
So
love
like,
peddling. They love peddling.
yep. And what you said earlier, like even Marcone, everyone in power seems to know about magic a little bit.
right?
If he deals in drugs, maybe that's that's where his knowledge comes from, magical drugs.
Oh, interesting.
Um, then I hesitate to say it, but now we're gonna get to my least favorite character. What did you think of Miss Susan Rodriguez?
I kind of don't like
Well,
her,
okay,
but
let me preface it of who she is for those who don't know. She's introduced Max like you were followed, and then she kind of like comes up, slinks out of the quarters. She is a reporter for the Chicago Arcane, which is like one of those um tabloids, hoaxy magazine, like Bigfoot seen in the city, that just goes over paranormal stuff that people just kind of shrug off as nonsense. Um, she's a reporter for them. So go ahead. What did you think of her?
she she's got that like she's clearly only after what she wants angle.
Oh yeah,
Um, I don't know. She does have that charm. I really like girls. I like dark hair, so I don't know. Like that's hard. I was just like the interaction would be nice, but then it'd be like, all right, go away. I'm not gonna give you anything. Like, I mean, I'd be Dresden. I would probably me and Dresden. We kind of align.
similar
Very
reaction.
very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh well. Yeah, maybe. All right. I got a date now. Oh shoot.
How appropriate for it. That's a lot of nuts redeem. Yes, yes, it is. No, I totally agree. She's out to only benefit herself in getting a good story, so you can't really trust her. But there was that playful interaction and that coy, and then she tricked him into going out with on a date with him, and it's just like, okay, we need to be careful of you. Kind of like the forbidden fruit. It's like, oh, you're nice and sweet, but I don't trust you. Um, which is, yeah, I don't know. She can go one of many different ways. How's it going, Pancake? What's up, dude?
It's probably it's always one of those. It's like a 90%. It's gonna be bad, and yeah, but
Probably,
yeah, but I
probably.
did like her character.
I didn't hate her as a character, and that's why I preface with it's my least favorite character. I think she's a good character, but it's just we'll see. We'll see how
Yeah,
it goes.
it's just gonna
Because
end up real
she's gonna
messy.
try and play Dresden.
Oh yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna end up just messy. Um, yeah. So those were all my questions. What did you have any questions on there, or we'll go to the overall wrap up?
I kind of I mean, yeah, you did. I was gonna ask about the whole vibe of the bar and how I thought about that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you have any? So I have a personal experience that I went to Edinburgh a while back, and we went to a pub, and like I think it's the world's oldest pub or something. It's called End of the World or something like
Oh, end of the world, like in the end
because
of the world movie. Yeah.
yeah, I think they changed the name a little bit, but yeah, it's or maybe it's the same name. I don't know. It was like that where you walk down into it, you go down those stairs. It's old wooden World's End. There, yeah. It's all wooden furniture, browns. It wasn't like dark, but it was a lot of like warm light. So it reminded me of that. It's just old, and you can like feel the history in it, and I thought it was and like having that, but like a magical version, just sounded awesome. Um, like you, I just want to go there. I just want to go there, have an ale on tap or whatever, and just soak
Mhm.
it all in. Now, I'm maybe you might remember. I feel like when you went in there, it was mostly empty, but wasn't there like two people in the back
Yeah, they're
playing
like
like cards or
playing
something?
mahjong.
Was it mahjong? Okay. He didn't go. They kind of glossed over them.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of the other people in the bar, the other, which we might later. I don't know. Um, I just wanted more,
Mhm.
personally.
Yeah. I hope it goes.
All right. Well, that closes up the chapter 5. you had some questions on the writing, or what?
Yeah, so
What
and
you want to
then
go
in
over?
this endeavor, I mean, it's fairly early in the works. Obviously, he's making up to these 25 books, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's got to start somewhere,
Hmm.
and I think because we're starting at the young point, and then as it goes, he's gonna obviously just get better at his writing. How do you feel like how good was his writing? Were the in a literary sense? How'd you feel about it?
Phenomenal. I thought it was great. I think the very first chapter was so well done in hooking the audience in, and the way he chose, like I said earlier, the way he chose the interaction with the mailman before describing the world to give you that personal connection, but also that insight to Dresden's a wizard, but he has to deal with the same shit that some of the rest of us do, but in a different way. And it's like, oh, that's cool. And it just kind of kept building upon that. I could see the like obvious like setting the foundation of the book, like going over the different characters and stuff. But I think in a writing sense, it was awesome. The fact that they had the soul gazing, which was a great, I think, a great technique of giving you, because it would feel, well, okay, he could have done it one of two ways. He could have just been like, this is like Marcone is cold and calculating. He's like a war no nonsense guy. He'll protect what's his till the very end. But instead, he did it through the soul gazing mechanic, which was so much more interesting than just telling the reader like this is what this person's like. But it's now like this is what this character's like, and this is how Dresden saw. This is how he found out. This is his interpretation of the things that he saw. Because I would assume that the way the soul gazing works is Dresden would see, like from a first person perspective, maybe third person, different points of his life, interactions. Like he'd see him starting out as like a low level crime dude and working his way up to more mobster style. And he would see the, like, he's a warrior. Okay, he just saw scenes of him, like, you know, commanding his guys to do crime and things like that and build upon, and he saw that he was like a smooth talking gentleman, and that he was trying to minimize his the misery that he caused to others, but also that he's a businessman. So it kind of gives you like, what did exactly Dresden see to um to come to these conclusions, which I thought was really interesting because it made the reader just think more and more about it.
Mhm.
But that
What
was excellent.
one thing that we didn't mention that I thought was really interesting was the fact that he kept giving out little tidbits, like a little piece at a time, about some thing in the past interaction, like how like his master, or like he did something bad, and it's like, oh, I had to defend myself, killed
I
his master.
For full transparency, I didn't bring that up because I do remember some of that later down the road, so I couldn't remember how much he said.
Yeah,
So that's he did
just
say
they
that like
just
he did something bad.
yeah, and they give it like this just a
Okay.
little bit, and then later it's like a little bit more, like one more detail, and then like one more detail. So
So the interesting thing is, especially with that soul gaze, I think Marcone 100% saw that. He saw that interaction, and I think that's partly why he came to the conclusion is like, I can't bribe you. I
oh,
respect you too much. Um, which is very interesting. I gotta turn off this heater. I'm baking over here. Sorry. Um,
yeah, because there's more.
yeah,
I did get a little further. So I did get a little bit. That's for
I
next
think
time.
I'm up to chapter 9. Is where I stopped. So I'm probably a little bit behind you. Okay. I'm excited to do these next 5 chapters. So we're doing 6 to 5 next Saturday, or chapters 6 through 5. 6 through 5, yeah. No, we're doing chapters 6 through 10 next Saturday. Um, I should be, in case something happens, but I should be back for
Yeah.
that.
So what
For
Christy
those who,
said though, this first
yes,
novel was actually a school project for Jim. And then he was
really.
encouraged to continue it. So yeah,
What
that's what I
age?
thought.
How old was we when he made or when he wrote the first book,
But this was
Christy? Do you know?
college, I think.
Okay. That's really cool.
But
He did
yeah,
such a good job.
like the way that he kind of like brings you in with like a little piece of stuff here and there, and he kind of like
Hmm.
weaves it together really well, and he's already doing that at like this early stage in his life. Like I can't wait to
Yeah.
see what else he does. 1990 wrote it.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, he's only going to get better from here. So that's really cool. Um. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm.
that's pretty much all I wanted to go over. So now, any questions? Anyone else have questions for us about the chapters that you wanted to get our opinions on, or hey, what did you think about this experience, or any questions for us? What's up, OG?
Just wanted to say hi to DJ John. Didn't wasn't it trying to ignore you guys. So just a good opening.
No, sorry about that. I did that too. I try to say hi to people, but this is going to be a very different
Yeah.
format from what we normally do, and we're gonna try and interact with chat, but it may not be directly. Just looked up. Butcher was 25 when he wrote it. Okay. So I've
Any good pictures in the book?
thank you, Lenny.
There aren't.
No,
There's some basic pictures, but very few.
no,
Very few.
no. They also I felt like they gave a description of Dresden, but I didn't feel like it was super detailed. I feel like he
It
left a
yeah.
lot of it for the reader to
It
fill in.
it was one of those like the guidelines. It was
Yeah.
a decent guideline, but I'm still kind of unsure of exactly what he looks like right now.
Yeah, right. Like you got a body shape. He's tall. He's kind of lanky. He's got the duster. Awesome, by the way. I loved the duster addition to it. It just kind of it fed into that noir feel to me. Um, I mean, did they say he had brown hair, or am I just imagining that? Yeah, wiry. Exactly. Yeah. No facial features. I imagine with a scruffy beard, but I don't even know if it said that in the book or not.
Had a little bit about his nose.
Oh yeah, he has a long nose,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Yeah.
But yeah, I
He's
really like
dark
that dark.
brown,
Yeah,
brown eyes and hair. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
it was
it's
interesting.
good. It's like a handsome fella.
Book has a cool cover. I mean, it shows him in the on the cover of the book itself. Um, oh, I don't know if I can pull it up here actually.
Covers are always another artist's interpretation, though. Well, so
That's true. That's true. He may have given the artist the same description from the book, and that's their interpretation of it. That's a very good point. Yes, he did compare himself to Karen. Yeah, being the opposite of Karen, because Karen was short but and a more stronger build, but she was blonde, blue eyed. Yep, exactly. Which I thought was kind of cool. It's just like they're kind of opposites, but they also connect very. I mean, they're opposites attract, I guess, but they connected very well. And and she seemed to trust him. So
I'm excited to see what comes of that those relationships. What happens?
absolutely, absolutely. Well, if there's no other questions, I'm gonna just go over it again. Excuse me, sorry, a little congestion. We're going to be doing chapters 6 to 10 next Saturday. If you're, we encourage everyone to read along with us. In the Discord, there is a section called Book Club. I think. Let me just double check, see exactly what I named it. I think it was just it's called Book Club. If you have any, I would say if you have any questions, wait and uh, wait till Saturday. Don't post them in that section because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But I do encourage you guys to discuss chapters 1 through 5 in that section amongst yourselves. Zio and I will be in there too. So if a question comes up and be like, oh, in chapter 2, like this happened, what do you think of that? We can respond to it there. And we can just talk about it. But yeah, unless you got anything else, I think it's a good time to wrap
No,
up.
that's it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us and talking about something like this. It's a new little thing for us, but definitely a lot of fun. So appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're having
It's
fun too.
It's different. I've never done anything like this format before. I don't think you have either, have
Yeah,
you?
no, we need to do some. We need to stretch our legs, learn something new, and I think this is a good way to do.
And I have to thank Christy. Like a huge shout out to Christy for really being
Oh
the
yeah.
one like to push this and be like, "Hey, you should do this." And we are like, "We should do this. This sounds cool." So thank you so much for that and giving us a direction of the book too, because she's the one who suggested Dresden Files.
Hmm.
I think now we got a long ways to go before we finish the Dresden Files and maybe Codex Alara. But after that, maybe we might take some suggestions of some people's books. I have a Warhammer book that I would love for you to read, but it's a lot. It's not as much as some of like the other books, but we'll see if we get to that or when we do.
All right.
And please let us know what you guys think. Like, what do you think of this? Is there something like you would want to see different, or your thoughts? Obviously, you can leave them in the Discord in the book club section. You can leave in the comments below. Like, please let us know.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, thanks so much. Take care, everyone. Bye.